from that 10-yard walk. Yeah, some real clashes going on there, and some really interesting to see how some of the new professionals are getting on. And in the middle there, Connor Tracy, new professional this year, against 6-3 up against Jimmy Carney. So yeah, lots of. I mean, we talk about shocks, and that's a surprise. But to be honest, we've got to ask the question: are they shocks? It's maybe a little eyebrow raiser, but are they shocks? I'm just not so sure anymore, to be honest.
A little bit. In the professional ranks, I don't think there's any such thing as a major shock, to be honest, because
there would be if I beat Tom Cousins. That would be, you clash that as a titanic shock.
I've seen you beat Simon Ward. I've seen it happen. Anyone can beat anyone. It really does go down to the breaks. A lot of the time, just who's playing well, but quite often who's getting the chances as well. In fairness to Tom Cousins in that last match, it looks terrible for him. He's lost 8-3, but he's missed maybe one chance.
Well, he didn't get 8 chances. So if you don't get 8 chances, you physically can't win the match. And it's as simple as that. And I just saw Craig break then, dry, and it just sort of reminiscent of his match on the stream yesterday, where he suffered a similar problem where he was breaking well, but just not putting anything. So the early signs are not good on that front again.
Cory, for me, is one of the players really to watch out for. I think he's going to win a lot of titles in this game. Just the way he looks around the table, he looks so confident and assured. He's such a brilliant player. He can mix it with the best of them in terms of his positional play, his pattern play, but also in terms of his sort of outrageous shot-making ability.
Yeah, he's got a very good all-around game and a very attacking player, as these young players tend to be these days. And yeah, you're certainly right. He's won over the next few years. He will win titles because he's certainly good enough to.
Left himself a slight problem here. I think he's underdone that by a good foot or two, actually. He would have wanted to be on the red to the right centre. It wasn't so bad. I didn't think he could get through to that red to the corner. I thought he might have had to play a plant. Still got a problem, though. He's still got to develop the black.
Seconds.
Can he do it on this shot? He doesn't really need to move the black. If he can screw down and just bump the yellow out of the way, he may accept that.
Yeah, he'd love to be able to do it off this ball, because then he's pretty much guaranteed a shot whatever happens. He's pretty much guaranteed to be on the red to the left centre. And he is. So now it's just all about keeping the cue ball under control for these next 2 shots. He wants to finish nice and straight on the yellow down the rail. Sorry, the black down the rail.
10 seconds.
Cued that well. But he needs to cue this next one well as well.
Yeah, if he screws straight back up the table here, he is going to be flirting with that yellow closest to the right centre pocket. He doesn't want to hit that full.
Yeah, it's all about how adventurous he wants to be with this positional shot. Does he want to screw down towards the centre pocket, or is he just going to stun it up there and leave a black at distance, which is what he's done. So he's sacrificed any risk for a longer shot, a tricky shot, and these are not easy down the rail, especially when the black's just off, sort of a centimetre or so, you have got to absolutely hit these spot on. Which he does. He couldn't have hit that one any better. And that's a great finish there from Cory.
Certainly is an excellent shot from Cory Rees. Puts him into a 1-0 lead here against Craig Marsh. He punishes the dry break. So it will be Cory to break second up, and Craig could find himself 2-0 down without a visit to the table. It really can be brutal, this game. You can find yourself 4, 5, 6 down without having done anything wrong at all.
Yep, it can be a horrible game if it's not going your way. Jordan Shepherd, we just saw there, he's so he was playing well yesterday. He's just beat Miles Deleuze 8-2. Good break from Cory. Like that white to get away from the centre, from the corner pocket. Good old crunch there. And he's got a choice. He can go reds or yellows.
Can. If he goes reds, his problem is the red that's, well, both the reds around the black, really, but especially the bottom one of the two. If he goes yellows, his problem is the black. So either way, that area needs developing.
Could be this shot. You could put this one into the bottom right corner, take the white off the cushion and try and just disturb that little cluster of 2 reds and the black. Might be trusting to a little bit of luck in terms of position. Maybe he's got something a bit more sophisticated planned. But at some point he's going to have to dislodge that black. Has he got the luck? He has. He's got the one into the top left.
I mean, he's on a yellow. It's not the yellow he'd have wanted it to be on, though. This is a tricky shot. And there's a lot of mileage in the cue ball on this finish.
10 seconds.
Stroke that in. Didn't snatch it, just absolutely stroked it in.
He looks in worryingly confident form, does Cory?
Yep.
Ooh, he's under-hit that, though. I think he's just got away with it. He can pop the yellow closest to the black spot into the bottom left corner. Hold the cue ball on the red to the right of the yellow. And he should be okay, but he did under-hit that by quite a distance.
You may be able to screw the white on the top side of the red. He's missed the pot.
Well, big moment for Craig Marsh then. You couldn't ask for a much nicer table to come to get yourself off the mark, to be fair. And it really would be a steal. Cory Rees would be very disappointed not finishing those.
Yeah, surprising miss.
10 seconds.
A miss it was. And I'm sure Craig was thinking a few shots ago that he was looking at like being 2-0 down. Been quite impressed with Craig, to be honest, the last sort of couple of months. At the Worlds, I thought he looked to be in some very good form, looked very composed, looked like the Craig of 2017 that won the world title. I did have a thought to myself, you know, when he was getting to the quarter-final stage that he would be the one to beat. And I think he's continued that form here. I mean, I know he didn't get the rub of the green yesterday, but a lot of that was down to the break. He just couldn't pop from the break, and you know, if you're not giving yourself any easy opportunities, it's very hard to win bull matches at this level. And,
Yeah, it was a point I made to Dan Davey yesterday. Is you might be able to win the odd match if you're not breaking well, but you won't win a tournament.
no, it's impossible. It is impossible. He's just got into that one a little bit too much, but he should be okay. Just needs to get the white anywhere at the top end of the table.
Oh, wow. Whoa. I thought he'd found that. I thought he'd found an almost impossible angle for the cue ball into the left centre. But fortunately for Cray, it came off both jaws, stayed out and left him perfectly on the black to tie the scores up at 1 frame apiece. Let's have another look at this. This is mightily close to going in.
Just caught that near knuckle.
How unlucky would that have been?
Well, he really shouldn't have been anywhere near the centre pocket, to be honest. So it would have been extremely careless if that white had dropped in.
Just the way the cue ball gripped after the shot, though, was quite spectacular. It almost didn't look like he could get anywhere near the centre pocket. Maybe that's what he thought. Maybe that's why he wasn't worried about it, because, you know, how'd you get there?
Possibly, yeah. Yep. We're back on level terms, 1-1. Marsh to break. He's got a ball this time. He's got another ball. You need 2 sets of eyes to follow all this on the Craig Marsh break. A lot of power behind it. White balls. It's done a few circuits of the table.
It's a very, very good split.
10 seconds. Extension call.
It's a little bit tricky in that in the balk end. The red in the middle of the balk area, if that goes to the top left, I think he'd want to take that on first.
Yeah, I think it does.
But also, the 2 yellows that are close together, if they plant, then there's sort of an opportunity on either colour here.
So if they do plant, then he can play. He's got all sorts of options at that top end of the table.
I think they must, because otherwise I think you go reds. You wouldn't want to have to break out those balls. You know, if he went reds, there's no breakouts. There's nothing difficult at all.
Ten seconds.
Well, I'm assuming that he's not disturbed the plant there. It looks.
They look like they go to me.
Yeah. He's not listening.
Well, as long as it does go, this is quite nice actually, because the yellow that he's hitting with the cue ball will run into that red, push the red to the side right and then stay on. Yeah, very nice.
Perfectly judged.
And the yellow does pass the black to the bottom right as well.
Yeah, so he wants to be within about 6-8 inches of that centre pocket. That's the line he's going to be looking at. Oh, this looks perfect.
Really, really nice control from Craig Marsh. And he hasn't put a foot wrong so far. He leads Cory Rees by 2 frames to 1. Just the one mistake in the match so far from Cory. but sometimes that can be enough.
Yeah, will that come back to haunt him later on in the match? We'll find out. And just to keep you updated on the latest scores, you can see Simon Fitzsimmons and David Adenal having a good old ding-dong battle there. 6-5 to the Manxman. Mark Boyle's 5-3 up on Gillespie in the titanic clash of the Scotsman. Jack Whelan's already through 8-3 against Luke Wrigglesworth. Rob Donkins 7-4 up against 2016 world champ Gaz Hibbert. Connor Tracy has completed the victory over Jimmy Carney.
Cory,
Neil
Reese to
Raybell's
break.
looking comfortable
Training
against
2 frames to
JJ
1.
Fall.
Time running.
And plenty of other action on all the other tables. We've got 15 other tables as well as the arena table. All going non-stop matches throughout the day. As we said, we've got the professional event. So we'll be showing the final of the ladies event. And there's also an amateur event going on as well. So there's another couple of hundred matches today to finish the weekend off.
There certainly is plenty of pool going on here at the Carrington House Hotel in Bournemouth. As
Extension
Cory
cool.
Rees surveys the table he's left himself after that break. This is often the most important part of a frame for a player is working out exactly what route they want to take. And Cory's struggling a little bit here. If he's not
10
careful,
seconds.
he will run out of time. That extension at the bottom of your screen, the 30 seconds for that is just the extension. So just because the extension ran out doesn't mean he's run out of time. Super shot though from Cory to get that difficult red out.
Ten seconds.
He's still got the one furthest right on the table that he's got to do something with. That doesn't appear to go anywhere nicely. And if he's not careful, he will run out of options to manoeuvre it, or to manoeuvre the cue ball into a position where he's nicely on it.
Yeah, and he's going to try and do it from this next shot. Play the one into the right centre. A couple of ways he could look to play it after that. Does he want to try and get behind it? Does he want it into this bottom right corner? Does he want to try and nudge it? Send the white off the top cushion? He's got a few options.
10 seconds.
He doesn't want that one. He's sort of in betwixt and between there. I think he's got a shot, but wow, this is tricky.
I don't know if it will go to the bottom left. If it does, it might not be as bad. But I mean, it's still very, very tough. But the bottom right is definitely the harder of the two pockets to pop this
10
in.
seconds.
Long pocket as well.
Yeah, I don't think this goes bottom left. This is going bottom right or right centre. That was a nice shot, but still another tricky one to follow.
The red does pass to the bottom right though. He does pass the black. So it could be a lot worse. Still queuing off the cushion though. These are very, very tough.
10 seconds.
Tremendous cue in there from the Welshman. And this black to tie things up. He's having to dig down. That makes it harder. And
Frank.
it squeaks in.
Just about. It was very, very close to that near knuckle.
Well, he just grazed it. Just grazed it going in. I think for a second he would have been a little bit concerned.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But in it goes. And you can see Fitzsimmons and Adenal 6-all. As the results start to come through. Luke Sanjis 6-3 up
Frame
on
5.
Ross Fernie.
Craig Marsh to break. Scores a tie,
Clint
2 frames
Anderson,
all.
5-3 up on Andrew
Time running.
McKee. Is it McKee or Mackay? Is it McKee?
As far as I'm aware, it's McKee.
McKee.
But you know him better than I do.
I've never asked him how to say his surname though. We just need to check that. It might be different.
Oh, don't start us off on pronunciation.
Team 1, please. Josh Patel, Wayne Fleming. Josh Patel, Wayne Fleming. Team 1, please.
That is a very messy looking pool table.
10 seconds. Extension call.
It's one of those breaks where you might not. I mean, I know he's playing Cory Rees, and you don't want to give your opponent any chance to get to the table, but you might not be too worried about a dry break in this scenario. Sometimes it's better to let your opponent go for a difficult finish.
Yeah, but there's only really one red to develop here from that dry break from Craig, and he's going to attack it straight away. There it goes. Out it comes, and it's sort of good news, bad news. All the reds are out in the open, but he's got nothing obvious to go at again.
I don't know if he can pot the one closest to the right centre in the bottom right. If he can, then he might just about be okay. If he can't, then he's in trouble.
Well, I think he can.
10 seconds.
Even if he can't get it direct, he can play it off the cushion, off the red. Well, he's played a safe. He's not going to reach a cush. Is he going to reach? Just reached.
Wow. That's a surprising shot in many different ways, actually.
Yeah. And we were getting a bit excited there because, again, if you're new to black ball rules, you must hit a cushion after the white has made contact with the object ball.
10 seconds.
Something has to hit the cushion, and if that red hadn't have reached the cushion, that would have been a foul, and obviously then would have put Craig in prime position for this frame. It's one of those rules that helps keep the game flowing and no just rolling up behind balls and making frames last for hours on end.
You see, clearly you play in a club where it's not a pound a frame. I love a frame that lasts an hour on end, hours on end, because it's a lot cheaper that way.
Yes, but Mr. Marsh, I bet he's had his fair share of pounder frames in the past. Haven't we all? Used to play winner stays on. Could play all day in the pub back in the day for a pound.
Yes, it is quite nice that.
Those days are long gone now. But yeah, that's most people's experience of pool. It's in the pub. It's having a game with friends.
Should say if you do enjoy your pool, then definitely look up black ball rules and try and learn them. But if you don't have the time for that, or you can't find them, I think the making sure you hit a cushion after contact rule is probably the biggest one, the biggest change from your sort of pub pool, if you like.
Well, he's going to put the black too early.
Foul.
What has he done? He's completely misjudged that. That's one sort of combination shot that you can't play whilst you've still got two yellows on the table. Greg Marsh.
Oh, he knew it.
He's had a moment there. He's completely misjudged that. He thought it was going to hit the black half ball and knock it onto the cushion near the pocket, and he's just had a bit of a meltdown moment there.
Be interesting to see how Craig recovers from that, because you say meltdown moment, and Craig is one of those players that's capable of having a little bit of a mental breakdown during a match. But he looks okay. He looks pretty relaxed. He's laughing about it.
I bet he's not laughing inside.
Frame 6. Cory Reese to break. Leading 3
But
frames to 2.
he is a player that wears his heart
Time
on his
running.
sleeve, and although he's not laughing inside, he's If he was really, really angry about it, you'd be able to tell.
Yes, yes, you would. And on the other side, Cory will be quietly, obviously not outwardly, but inwardly, absolutely delighted to basically just get a free frame.
Absolutely.
Just chop me a frame up. Another good break there. Only 4 balls left in the bottom end of the table. But it looks like he's tapping up. He'll be a little bit frustrated. I think there's a way Craig can attack this. Can he come off the red? That's just... Oh, can he clip it direct? Can he clip this? No.
No, I'm with you on that. I thought the shot there was to play the cue ball off the red into the yellow. It would have opened things up a little bit as well. Maybe he just didn't see it because, yeah, it was definitely the shot. That had to be so thin to pot that. And
Yep.
you had no idea where the cue ball was going to end up.
Ten seconds.
Slightly worrying
Extension
times
call.
there for Craig Marsh. He's got to recover a little bit of composure.
Yeah, so this is a big shot. This yellow. Got the pot. And yeah, a little bit fortuitous there, but got the position.
Ten seconds.
So this now has become a very good chance for Cory. Played that well.
Pretty comfortable stuff here for Cory
10
Rees.
seconds.
Shouldn't be a problem posed for him by these last 4 yellows.
Ten seconds.
Cory's going really nicely here. And he's certainly making the most of Craig's bad luck. He's just left this yellow, just a fraction thin. Where the cue ball would come up the table,
10
he's
seconds.
got to be careful not to be snookered by the red. He wants to run into that red or into the black. That's not bad. That's good enough. He's on it nicely into the right centre. And it should be 4-2 to Cory Rees. There we have it then. Cory Rees is 4-2 up on Craig Marsh. Super from Cory. referee then, Ben Taylor Fuente, racks up
Frame 7.
for
Craig Marsh
the
to break.
7th frame.
frames to
Craig
2.
Marsh trailing by
Time
4
money.
frames to 2. He needs a ball off this break.
Foul.
And that is not the ball he wanted to make. The cue ball flies around the table and straight in
shot.
off into that top
One
left corner pocket.
Time running.
Now what an opportunity for Cory. Wow. Screwed it straight into the corner. Which means that Cory Rees has 1 free shot and 1 visit. Whatever he does in his first shot doesn't matter. Effectively, the frame starts in his second shot. So he's just used his first shot to develop both the red and the yellow from the left side rail. And then he can carry on with his visit. Still got a choice of colour. All the balls in the open now, completely at his mercy.
Extension cool.
Cory then on the yellow balls.
10 seconds.
Will be doing his best to keep this clearance nice and simple. That's the idea. Keep the cue ball under nice control. As little movement with the cue ball as possible.
10 seconds. Ten seconds. Ten seconds.
Just got to be a little bit careful with this shot. He wants to screw the cue ball probably back into the red that's just above the line of the middle pockets. A nice full ball contact on that to get it out of the way. He might be able to screw past it as well. But he definitely doesn't want to hit it half ball, send it towards the black and slow the cue ball down. He doesn't want to snooker himself. Just choosing to take his medicine and leave the longer black. Still not too tricky. And Cory Rees, what a miss.
Wow. And I wonder if that was to do with the speed at what you played it. I mean, we commented earlier about how he's just stroking them in, and he just seems to give that a little bit A
Yeah,
little bit extra.
I don't know if he was slightly worried about an in-off,
10 seconds.
if he sort of stroked it in and maybe tried to punch it a little bit to widen the angle of the cue ball. Either way, what a let-off that is. Craig Marsh in with a big chance. And that chance has just become bigger with that shot. Superb.
Yeah, and apologies to anyone who had temporarily lost their pictures. There was a bit of a technical gremlin in the system, but all being repaired now. The gremlins have been got rid of, so that shouldn't be happening again.
Lovely stuff.
Always a gremlin around when you don't need them, aren't they?
Apparently so.
Do you get gremlins in any other form of stuff, or is it just technical where they appear? So that was a golden opportunity for Cory to open up a pretty commanding 5-2 lead, but he's let Craig off the hook, and well, Craig's trying his best to make hard work of it. That was not his best attempt.
No. Having made his life easier with the first shot of this visit, he's now made it very difficult, actually. That's almost as hard as you could place a ball on a pool table for a straight pot. He might have to leave
10
it as a
seconds.
double now.
Well, he's got a
Extension
chance. So he could take one in the bottom of the two that are in the centre of the table, take that into the right centre, send the white on this bottom cushion and up, but that white's doing a lot of travelling. You might be tempted to take this red down the rail, try and hide the white behind one of the reds to block Cory's view to the black in case he misses it.
Yeah, certainly could play this as a shot to nothing, and I think that's what he's doing.
10 seconds.
Well, he hasn't made the pot, but he has got the
Total
safety. But Cory Rees will definitely be making good contact with this black.
He's got plenty of room to swerve it if he wants to swerve it. Can't jump the white in this game. Gotta
10
keep the
seconds.
white on the table. He can swerve it round. Look where he's aiming on that white ball. He swerved it,
Foul.
just not enough.
I mean, that was
Free
a
shot.
big swerve to
One
take
visit.
on. It really was.
Yeah, he was asking a lot there.
Reset.
He was trying to swerve it full
Timeout.
ball. Just didn't quite make it. Just didn't quite dig down enough on the white ball. And Craig just mopping up the last remnants of this frame. And by hook or by crook, he's got back to 4-3 down.
Yeah, he's taken this chance with his second bite at the cherry. But nevertheless, he has taken it. So it's 4-3 to
Right.
Cory Rees now. That could be a big moment for Cory. He knows it should be 5-2. Let's have a look at the latest scores. And Simon Fitzsimmons has come back from 5-1 down against David Adenall to beat the Manxman by 8 frames to 6. A brilliant comeback from the bouncer.
Yeah, look at Gillespie and Boyle, 6-all winner to play Jordan Shepherd. And then the two winners of the next match, Jack Whelan and Rob Donkin. They'll be coming up next in the last 16 here on your screens. So that's
Frame eight.
another
Cory Rees
match
to
to
break.
whet the
Leading
appetite.
4 frames to
Big
3.
disappointment at the bottom of the
Time
screen
limit.
there for the last night's UK Open champion, Jordan Church. He's gone out 8-2 in a second round exit. And it's often the way, actually. The player will have a brilliant Open and a bad professional.
Yeah, because yesterday would have taken a lot out of him. We talked on commentary about the mental and the physical demands that Saturday at the tour puts on you, and again it's been shown there that it's very rarely that anyone has done the double, won both events. I know
10
Gareth Hibbert did it in 2016. I think Mark Farnsworth did it.
I think Simon Ward did it in 2015. No?
I don't think he did. I don't think he won both. I have a feeling one other player has done it. Answers on a postcard, please. But yeah, it's very hard to do because of the of what's involved. To put yourself through it is obviously going to be on a high, and very hard to get back up in such a short turnaround time. And you can see Craig Marsh springing his step. He's bouncing around that table now. He knows he's got a few balls away, and he's going to be 4-all in a match that he could have been down the motorway in a very short space of time. But a new energy, a new confidence. I mean, to be fair, he's a pretty brisk player anyway. It's not one for messing around too much.
No, absolutely not. Craig just wants to avoid the a full ball contact on this red here. Needs to screw past it. Controlled it nicely.
Yeah, can just drop this in now. Bottom right corner, bounce the white off this bottom cushion. And a nice routine black into the right centre. And we're going to be locked up at 4 frames all. Excuse me. He does play at a very nice pace, does Craig. He doesn't. He's not one that rushes around the table and plays at breakneck speed like a Jordan Church or a Jordan Shepherd. Yeah, he's not. He's not slow. He does have a nice, easy speed around the table.
Yeah, he certainly does. Now then, what other scores have we got? Clint Ianson locked in a bit of a battle with Andrew McKee. Leads 6-4. And Dan Davey is just edged into the lead against Dave McNamara. That's a bit of a battle, that one. It's a very, very even game, I would say, Dan Davey and Dave McNamara.
Yeah, Dave for McNamara been in some excellent form. I know Dan Davies hitting the practice table these days now. New club opened in his area, so he's able to get some much needed practice in, and he's certainly feeling a lot more confident about his game at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see how maybe not so much does this event, but how he does over the season.
Extension call.
He's another example, is Dan, of when he won his one IPA title. It was this equivalent event, I think 4 years ago.
2016. It was my first IPA event.
Right, he won it. It was in Newport. I think it was Newport.
It was.
He won the Open, and then he got beat in the first round of the pro event on the Sunday morning. And the reason I know that was because it was me that beat him.
10 seconds.
I love reminding him about that.
I mean, I can only assume it was because he was celebrating so hard the night before.
That can be the only reason. And I think it's also going to be fascinating to see how John McAllister copes this year, with that mantle of being world champion. I was talking with Gaz Hibbert on comms yesterday about the so-called curse of the world champions, and they don't win anything that year. He rightly pointed out that he's the exception to the rule because he won a couple of events that year. But certainly Craig Marsh, Ben Davis, Mark Farnsworth all struggled in the first year in becoming world champion and didn't win an event. And obviously John's had an early bath in the Open in this event, and although still 8-0 victory in the professional event shows that the signs are still good for him. So let's play that. Oh, just wasn't enough room for it to squeeze in.
He won't be too disappointed with that, Craig. I think he'll be okay here. That is on for the combination shot, though. That red is so far in the heart of the pocket that Cory may choose to play the top of those two yellows that are together. If he can finish nice and straight on it, then he will be able to pop both of those in the same shot. But Cory still has the big problem of the yellow surrounded by reds in the bottom left corner of the table.
So he's just going to stun onto the red dead weight. Can't afford to hit it any harder. Otherwise the white will follow. Whoa.
Foul.
Well,
Well,
he's
he's
missed the pot and
One free
played
shot.
the skill shot. That is a terrible shot. Cory Rees, what's happened?
Reset the clock.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised at the way he played that, to be honest.
Time running.
So he's just playing a delicate little pot into the corner. And he missed the pot and he missed the direct cannon from the white. So that was a complete misjudgment there. And the momentum in this match has completely changed since
10
Cory
seconds.
missed that black to go 5-2 up.
Well, that's the way Paul punishes you. If you miss a good chance to win a frame,
Time foul.
then you're certainly asking for trouble.
One free shot.
That's a
One
lovely
minute.
opening shot from Craig.
Wow, was that a time foul there? Wow.
Well, I can't believe that. Craig Marsh has time fouled with ball in hand. My word.
I bet he's not done that in his career.
I'd be very shocked if he'd done that in his career. Should point out we have reduced the shot clock this year on the tour. It was 45 seconds last season, now 30 seconds. So I guess a little bit of getting used to for the players, but I'm very surprised at that. And just as you were talking about a swing in momentum, well, it looks like it's about to swing back, and Cory Rees has been let off the hook in a very big way there.
Yeah, and all of a sudden Cory's bouncing round the table
Extension cool.
with a new lease of life. So complete momentum shift, not within the match, but within this frame.
Frame.
Cory Rees then makes the most of Craig Marsh's error with his timing, and he takes the lead. It was 4-2 to Cory. Should have been 5-2. Ended up 4-3. And now he's back in the lead. It's 5-4 to Cory Rees. And Dan Davey, we were talking about him earlier on. He has moved within one frame of victory against David McNamara.
Yeah, at the top of the shop there, the number one ranked professional player Liam Dunster, who we've not seen this weekend. He is 7-2 up on Dean Shields
Frame 10.
in
Cory
a
Rees to
likely
Leading 5
last
frames to
16
4.
encounter with
Time
Simon
running.
Fitzsimmons on the horizon. That should be a match of contrasting styles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Foul.
Well, this match is swinging one way and the
One free
other
shot. One
as
visit.
fast as I've ever
Time
seen
running.
anything swing one way or the other before. Horribly kicked in off. He's almost flirting with that corner pocket, but that cue ball wasn't going in.
Yeah, I think both players have struggled with the break in that they've put the white in at risk of going in off. You know, they've flirted with the corner bags. which is quite unusual.
Great opportunity for Craig, though. No chance of a time foul at this visit, I don't think. Just as he slows down.
Craig is one of the really great cueists, silky smooth cue action, and a great touch around the table. You know, when he's on fire, there isn't many finer sights in the game than watching Craig Marsh queuing up and stroking the balls in. He is a phenomenal talent.
He's part of that Welsh contingent of flamboyant, brilliant players to watch.
Yep. And in it goes, no messing, and we're all tied up at 5 frames all. Cory Rees can only be thinking, "What? I've just let him off the hook so many times." Easy black for 5-2. That seems a long time ago now in this match. There's been a lot happened since then.
It certainly has.
Dave McNamara pulls a frame back against Dan Davey. Is that got deciding frame written all over it?
Yeah, Clint Hansen and Andy McKee, they've been going at that 6-4 scoreline for quite a long time. So
Frame 11.
I would
Craig
imagine
Marsh
there's
to break.
a bit of a
Scores
tactical
aside,
battle
5
going on
frames
there.
all. Time running.
That's the break that they want to do. The white straight back, nowhere near a centre pocket. And that's what happens. Nothing in danger.
That's as good a break as you'll see. That is, look at the explosion out of the pack. Unbelievable. And it's left a really nice chance. You have to say on
10
sort of
seconds.
either colour.
Yeah, I think yellow's more likely candidate, but he's not played that very well.
Yeah, there's always the problem with yellows. That yellow on the right hand side was tricky to get onto. He wanted to get onto it first.
He just rushed that one, I thought. He got down and just sort of whacked it in.
Perhaps a little bit worried about the time he had left after he thought about.
Possibly. Didn't use the extension at all when he could have done.
10 seconds.
I think there might be a safety coming here.
I'll tell you what, he flirted with that shot clock again then, didn't he?
He played an adventurous plant, to say the least, and was nowhere near.
Got away with it to an extent. That yellow has covered the red to the bottom right. And there's no easy ball
10 seconds.
to manoeuvre that. So it's going to take a good shot from Cory to get that red out. Absolutely leathered that into the centre pocket, considering the angle he was at.
Yeah, and played with some extreme side as well, so you can see what he's lining up. Wants to leave that white. He's going to put this red into the top right, leave the white maybe 6-8 inches just to the left. Just about there. I think he's gone a bit straight.
It's a bit straight for me. I think if anything, he's off-angled the wrong way.
Yeah, that's the wrong angle. That's a bit careless.
Extension called.
That was a little bit careless there from Cory. It was a good. He only needed to move the ball about 6-8 inches, and he's moved it probably close to a foot. So he's putting all the eggs in the basket.
Yeah, looking to screw the cue ball back up the table into that red to knock it possible, but there's no guarantee he's going to finish nicely on anything off from this shot.
10 seconds.
And the clock's ticking.
well. How do you get round it? He's livid. I think he's just livid with the luck there. I think
Total
he
snooker,
looks
reset.
absolutely disgusted with that.
Yeah, he could say he's a bit unlucky, which I guess he is, but, you know, it all stemmed from 2 shots ago when he had a pretty easy positional shot and he misjudged it quite badly. So I think that's just a culmination of the frustration of a couple of shots ago.
Bit of a free go at this yellow up to the top right if he wants it here, Craig.
He can, because as we know, the pool gods are very unforgiving. Oh, that is stroked in beautifully.
It is, and this is a lovely angle as well on the yellow to the bottom left to come cue ball off the top cushion, bottom cushion rather, and into that red.
You can see the side he's playing. Oh, he's going to be. Is he going to be unlucky?
Well, I think he's actually. I think that's kind of all types of karma in one shot there. It's a bit of a yin and yang shot.
Yeah, I think he was very unlucky. He just judged that absolutely perfectly into the red, just to knock it out, and then unfortunately got a double kiss.
But fortunately, got the red far enough away from the yellow that it went and landed on the other yellow. So
Yeah,
not the end of the world. I'd say he deserved it.
yeah, he did deserve a little bit of luck there from playing a good shot. Zipping that white ball. You see how it comes off the second cushion on these cloths. You get extra zing with the side off the second cushion.
Didn't want to leave it on the cushion though. No problems at all for Craig Marsh. He takes the lead.
Certainly, mate.
Yeah, 6 frames to 5.
Have a look at how this cue ball got past that red and yellow. Didn't look like the gap was big enough from the angle he was coming at, but that is the shot that's cost Cory Rees that frame.
Yeah, he was asking for a lot there, to be fair. But yeah, it was a fine margin. But as I say, it stemmed from that poor positional shot that would have left him an easier opportunity to develop that ball. So from looking like missing a black to go 5-2 up, this match has completely turned on its head, and Craig Marsh just 2 frames away from victory. What can Cory summon up? I think he's just gone for a little comfort break.
Well, at this point, he needs to summon up something special, but more than that, he needs to hope he gets the chance to. With Craig Marsh just 2 frames from victory, Cory might not have a say in this match anymore. Cory Rees then be hoping to get back into this match. We're just waiting for the players. They've just gone for a quick comfort break. We'll have a quick look at the last 16 of the professional draw and how that's shaping up.
Well, we'll try. I think here it
It's
comes.
coming. It's coming.
No, that's the amateur last 16, but we can look at that to see how that's developing. And Nathan Davis there, second match down, who we saw on our screens yesterday. He's in a battle with Josh Kane, and lots of great players there who looking to build this season to get enough points to get into the pro ranks, and some fantastic players there Gareth Higgins, Josh Kane, Wade
Thank
Morley,
you. Frame number
Andy
12.
Croasdale,
Cory, Reese to break.
Lee Shepherd,
Trailing 6 frames to 5.
all Luke Johnson.
Time running.
There's pretty much all those players there are looking to get into those pro ranks for next year.
Yeah, they certainly are. Well, that is another decent break. It's a good split. I think he'd love a red, but
He may be forced into yellows.
Extension call.
well, I think Cory could take the red in the middle of the table to the left centre. It's just what he can do with the cue ball after that.
Yeah, his problem is that little 3-ball cluster near the centre pocket.
Yeah, I think the top one of those will go to the centre, which would open everything up. And the bottom one may well do as well. So
We'll soon find out. See who's taking reds.
yeah, see if they go, it's not as bad as it looks, but it's very, very tight as to whether they go or not.
Ten seconds.
10 seconds, the clock's ticking. He's used his extension. It's down to 2. Has that forced an error?
I think he's just about okay. I think he can pot this. The top of those 3 reds. Probably really dig down into the cue ball and bring the cue ball back. He's looking up table, so perhaps he'll go around the angles.
10 seconds.
Well, it definitely went.
Definitely went, and I think he's got a really nice angle there as well on this red into the bottom right corner. It's all about pace and judgment. Doesn't want to get stuck behind that yellow. That's just to the left of the 2 reds. Managed to get in front of it and played it well.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not absolutely perfect. He doesn't want to nudge the other red onto the cushion here. He could just about squeeze past. Great shot. It's going to be 6-all.
Yep, exactly what Cory needed. Didn't want to be going 7-5 down. No mistakes. That was a good clearance there from the young Welshman. And that puts everything back at 6-all. As we can see how the pro last 16 is shaping up nicely. And some new names to the professional scene. The likes of Connor Tracy, Darryl Whitworth, Simon Fitzsimmons. So great to see the new breed mixing it up with the experienced ones that have been on the tour. Dan Davey there completed his victory
13.
over Dave
Craig Marsh to
McNamara.
break. Scores a
Tough
tie,
match
6
against
frames
John
all.
McAllister.
Time running.
Yeah, just the current world champion, just the new world champion. Should be fine. Shouldn't be a problem.
Sorry.
Huge break from Marsh.
It is, but he's definitely got a problem with the red at the top right end of the table. That's going to require some movement. I think yellows are out of the equation in this frame.
But he's got two balls in the area that he can use to just bump that red out, and he's going to do it on this next shot.
Yeah, this is clever. If he can get the yellow in, get the cue ball into the yellow that's close to the red, he'll be guaranteed to be on the other red. It's perfect.
Absolutely played to perfection. Could go a number of ways here. Just screw the white down the centre of the table. It's gone a little bit more to the right than I think he would have hoped. But he can go for any 3 of these reds.
He'll be happy enough with that, I think.
I think he'd like to take the 2 on the left first. Take the top one of the 2 and
10
the bottom one. But no, he's going this way. He's a little bit short there.
I don't know if he can maybe just get the cue ball around the back of the red. Doesn't really want to risk running into it. Well, he's overcut that by a long way. That's a pretty awful shot, if we're honest, from Craig Marsh.
That is a horrendous shot. He's too short on the positional shot. He got caught in 2 minds of about which way to go, and then he's played that shot with oodles of left-hand side, and it's caused him to miss the pot. That is bizarre. After he'd done the hard work, he'd developed the bad red. It was dot-to-dot stuff, and he's just handed the frame to Cory Rees. I mean, you talked about momentum shifts, so we've probably had 3 or 4 in this match.
Yeah, I guess sometimes they're not as fatal as others. But that was I'm a little bit surprised at Cory's last shot. I can understand why he wanted to move those yellows. But he didn't leave them possible, and he's ended up having to play a safety. Now, it's a very good safety, and Craig probably isn't going to get out of this and make a ball. And Cory probably will still win this frame, but you never know.
You never know. The DNA of these Welsh guys contains something that allows them to pull out something extraordinary. Hold on tight.
Foul. 1 free shot.
No, it was
Well,
extraordinary.
Time running.
He managed to stun the white ball out of the centre pocket.
That's incredible.
Reset the clock,
Not
please.
quite what it was after, though.
Time running.
Now, Cory Rees proven right, playing the safety shot. And sort of a little bit of a failed attempt to develop the yellows that led to that safety shot, I think was my point.
10 seconds.
Oh my goodness, that's gone horribly wrong.
That's one of the worst shots I've ever seen, if I'm honest. It was so needless.
He was up on the shot straight away. I think he knew he'd hit it wrong. So all he can do now is play snooker. But he's going to give Marsh a shot at something that he should never even seen the table.
I think Cory's tried to be a little bit too clever there for me. Just a fraction too cute. It's a good safety shot, and Cory will still probably win this frame, but that was one of the worst shots I've seen a professional player take, if I'm honest.
You've obviously not seen any of my matches then, Dan. But
don't count.
10 seconds.
But yeah, he was just careless. I mean, he's completely mishit it. And where's this red going? It's travelling.
Well, that would have been something special.
That would have been a blow to the solar plexus if it had made something happen there. But Cory's just got to hold himself together.
I think that's the key, though. He has got to hold himself together. Having played
10 seconds.
those 2 pretty ropey shots, and, to put it mildly, he's now got to get back into the rhythm, and that can be difficult when you've played a couple of bad ones. It can be all of a sudden you feel like your arms go to jelly and you can't see straight, and everything just feels that little bit more difficult. Every little angle comes out a little bit more wrong.
Yeah, and even that shot is just played there. The white's run on extra than what he would have wanted. And now he's just having to rework out. I think he ultimately wanted to play the one in the left centre to take the white up to the top end of the table and play the plant for those 2 yellows. But now, you see, again, the positional side's just gone again. He's really battling against himself here. This is going to be fascinating to see if he can just get over this little mental hurdle that he's struggling with at the moment.
Yeah, he's got to get over the line here. These are routine, but
10 seconds.
nothing's routine when you've made a couple of little mistakes and you're getting close to the winning line. And he needs this white to hold up, and I think it just about has.
He's played a very good shot there. A very good, well-controlled shot. He's absolutely perfect. And that has retrieved the situation for him.
He has, but I mean, a couple more inches and it's all gone wrong.
10 seconds.
He's avoided being straight, so he's got a nice angle. He can probably screw this back, play it off 2 cushions, just for the black into this bottom right-hand corner. That's how I'd like to play these. A little bit of, maybe a little touch of left-hand side. And that's pretty good. Well, he missed a black similar to this to go 5-2 up. I'm sure it's probably not going through his mind, but he's just took an extra second. And no mistake
Right.
this time. 7-6 to Cory Rees.
7-6. And yeah, this match has had some serious twists and turns. Some bad mistakes from both players, some brilliant clearances from both players. Well, it's just going to come down to who can hold their nerve, I think. There we go then, the last 32. Almost finished.
Almost, and just third match from the bottom there, Alex O'Donoghue. He's turned
Frame 14.
things around
Cory
there
Rees to
against
break,
Simon Ward.
being 7 frames to 6.
He was way behind,
Time
and
running.
now he's 7-6 up. And early stages of the last 16s. They're just getting underway now. It's a big break from Cory. He's going to get a great chance to win this match now.
You couldn't want a better one. This is a phenomenal chance to win a match. Well, you would expect
10
Cory Rees to make light work of these any day of the
Extension
week.
call.
But at 7-6 in the professional event to knock out Craig Marsh, anything can happen.
Yeah, and he did well that last frame because he was really struggling in mid-clearance. The white was getting away from him. His positional play was... it was a bit all over the place, to be honest, but he retrieved it with that fantastic positional shot. And now he seems to be hitting the ball
10
again
seconds.
with great confidence. So I think he's going to... I can't see him not taking these out, to be honest.
He does, but he's sort of wandering around the table, sort of muttering away to himself, just a little bit edgy, and you can forgive that, don't get me wrong.
So he just wants to drop this one in dead weight, I think. Doesn't want that white to go too far from where the red is. Just to leave himself a nice angle, just to drop this in plain ball. And bring the white up behind that other red into the same pocket. That's the plan. I think Craig is fearing the worst.
I don't think he's got quite enough angle to drop this flame ball. I think he needs a little bit more on it. A little bit of a punch, but that is perfect from Cory Rees.
And he's going to have a black again into this bottom right-hand corner. Seems to be following him around this match. Craig can only reflect on what might have been, I think, because this black, and that is that.
this black for an 8-6 victory to send Cory Rees through to the last 16.
Frame in the match.
And
Cory
there
Rees wins
it
by 8 frames
is.
to 6.
Cory Rees through to the last 16. Craig Marsh can start the long journey back to Wales. He'll be slightly disappointed with that. He had his chances in the match. Both players made a couple of mistakes, but also played some fantastic pool. Now, we are all getting ready for the next match in the arena. But before we do, we're going to hand over to the chairman, Kevin Barton, and he is with your winner, Cory Rees.
Cory, congratulations. Tough battle against someone who you know very well.
Oh yeah, always tough playing against a mate as well. I mean, it's always that type of match. It's always going to be a close game. He's always a good player. It's just one of those matches where you automatically thought it was going to go one way. I went 4-2 up. Then I'm thinking, I've got an easy black. Should go 5-2, and then all of a sudden it's gone the opposite way. Then I fouled. He's had a time foul. It's gone the opposite. It's like you didn't even know what's going on. So I had to go to the toilet, sort of calm myself down a little bit. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, there was. We talk about momentum shifts in matches. I mean, there was momentum shifts in frames. Never mind the match.
There's normally like 2 or 3 maybe in a match. There was like must have been about 6, 7, 8 now, and it was just. So I thought I have to go to the toilet, sort of just calm myself down a little bit, because I was getting annoyed with myself. You know what I mean? Because it's obviously big matches, pro events, and you just want to win. You want to win so much, and then sometimes you just try too hard. So it's always good to win.
You must be proud of how you held it together the last couple of frames there, because there was a point in the, I think it was the 11th frame, where the white was just getting a little bit away from you. You were struggling a little bit, and then you pulled out a great positional shot, and then finished that frame, and then ran the match out. Yeah,
just try to play everything as confident as I can. Just because sometimes you go with shots and you think, like you doubt yourself sometimes. I'm trying to do it more and more every time I play. Just be more confident, like. Because I think the more confident I am, it's obviously the good chance you have again playing well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you mentioned about always tough to play, Craig, someone who you know very well. Does that create a bit of extra tension, extra pressure for you in those sort of matches?
Tension, no, but it's always like, because obviously loads of all the Welsh boys are all good mates. Obviously, if you lose, then you know you're going to get a stick back. You know what I mean? But it's good. It's friendly banter. You know what I mean? It's always good.
Okay, well played, Cory, and hopefully see you later on in the day. Well done.
Thanks.
So Cory Rees takes his place in the last 16 of the professional event.